Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. It has been a great time and the afternoon that we all could be here. And this is DPWD, diksoochi for persons with disability. And we have continuously organizing webinars to bring awareness among the young people of disabled and as well as many more students and many more elders also. This afternoon, I would like to thank everyone for coming over here. We are about to start our webinar. The speaker is ready and all is set. Before we could introduce the speaker to every one of you, there are few things that we have to follow in our webinar to make it smooth and happiest one. So we request everyone, first of all, to mute yourselves as well. Our technical expert has muted you, but we have enabled the chat for everyone. So you can freely chat over here. Everything will be noted by the experts. And there will be Q and A section in our webinar. You can note all your questions, and the people in YouTube who are on the live stream of YouTube also can post your questions to the comment box. The expert will collect those and answer you at the end of the meeting. We request everyone to rename yourselves. If you are finding difficult while renaming yourself, you can kindly inform us so that our technical expert will change your name so that it will be easy for us to communicate in the Q&A section and along the meeting. We have Brother Venkatesh will be introducing the speaker, and after that we have vote of question and answer after the session. After the question and answer session, we have vote of thanks by Mr. Ganesh Reddy. And after the program is over, if anyone interested to talk with the team or interested in giving any suggestions to the team, the floor will be open for everyone after the meeting. These are some points that we have to note before we could go further into our program. With this, I invite Brother Venkatesh Nayak to go ahead with the introduction of the speaker and invite him into the program. Thank you, Venkatesh.
Yeah, thank you, Venkatesh. It's a pleasure inviting you, Tarab, on board. So it's been a long time desire to have in our board. At last, that dream come true. So here, as we all aware, that DPWDs they don't conduct motivational sessions or something. We mainly focused on awareness and sensitizing people. So in that part, I'll give you just a brief overview about the speaker. So, there's a Turab Chimthanawala, who is the associate member of Company Secretaries of India, which is India's one of the leading professional educational body, where people studies career corporate laws and compliances. So you all aware that this professional courses like CA, CS are very fascinating, and most of us are very much interested into them, but we are not aware of like how to get into that and what are the accessible sources to uh, finish those courses, and what are the career opportunities being a blind. So Tarub himself, he is a company secretary working with a leading consultant, MG Consultants in Mumbai, which is a very famous uh, firm who provides their services into various international organizations in the compliances. So Tarab has been into social space. He's very much interested into social work, and he's a keen learner, especially related to assistive tools and technology. So this all about Tarub, and Tarub also has done his masters from Nalsar, Hyderabad, which is a prime institutes for law schools in India. So he has done many more other diploma courses from different institutes like security laws, entrepreneurship courses, and business management, and others. So these are all his expertise. He has been associated with Rotary International and BGFI and other organizations to give something to the society. So, as you all aware that, as we mentioned, professional education awareness and network building. So here, Tara will going to give some brief overview on what the professional courses and what are the career opportunities, followed by network building, which is very essential for every individual to have a good network to grow in a career. So, this is all about the today's topic, as you all aware. So, further any ado, I would like to invite Tarab to introduce himself and go further. Thank you. Tarab, over to you. Yeah, Tarab, are you there? Speaker is there?
Sir, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, unmute yourself. Tarab, unmute yourself and I asked you to unmute yourself, Tarab. Just unmute.
So, guys, Venki, one call to Tarubai and ask him to unmute himself.
Yeah, actually, co-host him. Actually, he's not able to unmute himself.
Wait a minute. Okay, so we'll send a request. Wait a minute. Actually, he can, but he might be getting.
I think Tarubai left from the meeting and I rejoin.
He
He
is there.
joins
Yeah,
again.
Tarabhai, I requested you to unmute yourself.
Yeah, now have I unmuted now? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hello?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear
Yeah,
you.
sorry, there was some confusion, I think, and yeah, so now you can hear me and it's clear, right? My voice is clear, right?
Yeah, it's totally perfect. You can
Yeah.
get, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, DPWD and Venkatesh, for inviting me and for the kind introduction. It is great for me to be here. In fact, Venkatesh has chosen a very perfect day today because it is CS Foundation Day today. Our institute, CS Institute, was formed 52 years today, back today, and happy CS Day to everyone present here. So the topic which I have been given is about a brief about the various professional courses with CS, 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 and CMA, and also about networking. So I will give a brief overview of these courses because obviously they keep changing. One, so if you start today, also maybe in few years it will change the syllabus and all. The scope will also increase, but my main focus area would be a little on networking because that is important as blind people, especially as visually challenged people. We as it is, the life is much tougher for us. So we need to network and go ahead in our lives. So I will first start with the professional courses. So CS, and CMA, that is Chartered Accountancy, Company Secretary, and Cost and Management Accountancy. These are there are few similarities between these courses. So I will first highlight the similarities. So for the cost of repetition and also so that it's easy for you all. So the first thing is that these three are referred to as professional courses in India. Like any commerce student who clears 12th, apart from graduation, these are three professional courses. They are not graduation or post graduation, and because they are professional courses, they are not run by any college. So no, you cannot say that which college have you done your CS from, or in which university you have done your CA from. They are all professional courses. They all have their institutes. Chartered accountancy is governed by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. It has its head office in New Delhi. The Company Secretary course is governed by the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. It has its head office in New Delhi again. And the Cost and Management Accountancy profession is governed by the Institute of Cost and Management Institute of Cost Accountants of India, rather, Institute of Cost Accountants of India, which has its office in Kolkata and also office in Delhi. So these institutes have their head offices. Then they have regional offices in all the various big cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, and Kolkata. And apart from that, they also have chapter offices in the various cities. Like in most of the big cities, you would have a chapter office of the three institutes. They all are governed by respective acts of parliament, so they are separate institutes. And then these courses you can do parallel to a degree course. Like if you register for BCom or BBA or BMS or similar course, you can do these parallelly with them. Uh, Now these courses generally have three levels. One is the basic foundation level, then is the intermediate, and the final. In CS, they have recently amended the regulation, so now they have only two levels and one entrance test, which I will come to later. And in these three courses, the second and the third level, that is intermediate and final, there is a new concept called groups. What do we mean by groups? So there are three, like the subjects are divided into groups. So like three subjects or four subjects, and we are supposed to clear that group together. Just 1 minute, I'll just pause. I'll shut off my jaws. Actually, it's one. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So each of them have their three. They are divided into groups, the subjects, and you have to clear that particular group. Okay, and now the exams take place twice a year, in June and December for CS and CMA, and for CA it's May and November. And in the exams, they are twice a year because the passing percentage is quite difficult. Like it's not like a graduation course where everybody clears, or like generally if you manage somewhat, you clear, or you get 90%, 80%. These courses are very tough. So passing percent is less than 10%. That's why there are different attempts, like 2-3 attempts also you may require to clear the exam. The passing percentage for each of these each of these courses is similar. That is, you have to score 40% in each subject, and your aggregate should be 50%. Means like if you have given one group of CS, so in CS final there are three subjects. Okay, so three subjects are of 100 marks each, out of which you have to clear one subject. You have to score minimum 40% in one subject, and the aggregate of all the three subjects should be more than 150. That is, it should be more than 50%. So it is similar for CS, CA, and CMA. All three courses is the similar thing. That's why I mentioned it earlier. Now, so that's why like they have attempts. So like it takes 3 to 4 years to complete each of these courses, because apart from these three levels, there is also articleship which is to be done in each of these courses. Now I come to a specific course. So the first course which I will talk is about cost and management accountancy. It is called CMA for short. It is run by the ICAI Cost, that is Institute of Cost Accountants of India. It was earlier called CWA. So many of you all might have heard about CWA. In 2012, the name was changed. So the scope of this course, now what do these people do? So in cost and management accounting, you generally are concerned with costing and management accounting. That is, suppose if you're working in a company, so you have to find out what is the cost of the product, what from where should I buy the raw material? Like I have to ensure, I have to look at the cost of a particular product. So what would be the cost of raw material? What would be the cost of labor? What would be the price of the particular product? So suppose whether I should procure the raw material from X place because it will be cheaper, or shall I go to Y place? Maybe you have to take the decision, or maybe you have to decide that whether I can need to manufacture the product, or I can just directly buy it from someone and sell it to a third party. Like you have to make various decisions related to costing of the products. Also, these people also engage in valuation relating to that costing. They also are concerned with management accounting. So once the costing is done and various reports are prepared, the management has to take various decisions relating to a company. So like as I mentioned, that whether they have to buy a product or they can purchase a raw material and manufacture it in house, or whether if there is a machine, so if the machine is getting old, they have to decide whether to replace the machine, or they can just repair the machine and they can use it for future action. So that is the main thing of cost and management accounting. They also engage in taxation, direct or indirect tax like income tax, GST, etc. And also, as per the Companies Act, as per company law, there is a provision, section 148, which provides that certain big companies which are engaged in manufacturing, they have to obtain a cost audit report from a cost accountant. Like they have to give a report, they have to conduct detailed audit, and they have to give a report. Also, they are given power to conduct internal audit and concurrent audit in banks. So what do you mean by audit? Audit means you have to check, is a like a check of what is being done. So they will supervise the function. Like if the bank has written in the internal audit that we have received this amount of crores of of deposit from the public, and then we have given this loans. So whether the bank has backup proof in respect of those things, or when a company says that we have incurred this cost, so whether they have proof of that cost, there should not be any fake bills or fake accounting by the companies. So they are engaged in cost audit. Now how to practice? So in cost accounting, there are three options which a person has after completing the CMA course. That is, either he can go in practice, means he can set up his own firm and he can give these cost audit reports, or he can conduct internal audit, or he can advise the companies related to costing. Or second option is that he uh, he can also work in a company. So there are some large companies which require a cost accountant which are engaged in manufacturing. So in those kind of companies he can work, or also in many of the PSUs like public sector undertakings or government undertakings, these people can work. So I was recently listening to the interview of CMA Balwinder Singh, who was the president of CMA Institute. So he was saying that many of the cost accountants have reached very high positions in the government undertakings, like chairman, managing director, or chief financial officer. Like that, they have reached very high positions. Now, as when it comes to the course, so as I mentioned, there are three levels. One is foundation. In foundation, there are 4 subjects, each are 100 marks each. Passing average is 50 of all the 4 subjects, and per subject you have to score 40 marks. And after you clear foundation, so in next year, like if you can give twice a year, like June and December. So suppose in June 2021 I appear for foundation, then I clear in August, in 2-3 months the result comes, then I can register for intermediate next year. Intermediate has 2 groups, group group 1 and group 2. So I can either appear for both the groups at once, or I can clear one group and then I can give next group after 6 months. So June 2022, I suppose I give intermediate, and then after that, next, if I clear both the groups, I am eligible for final. Final also has 2 groups of 4 subjects each. They are called as level 3 and level 4. There also I have to clear both the groups and I will qualify as a cost accountant. Parallel with this, I have to also do my articleship, or also called training. So that I have to do either in a company which has a prescribed turnover or a prescribed some criteria, or I can do enough with a CMA who's practicing as a cost accountant. I can work under him and I will get the certificate. That has to be in for 15 months. That I can do after intermediate. And the CMA course I can do after 12th. After I've cleared my 12th, like after 10th, I can register for it. But after 12th, I can means I can give the exam. And the training is done for 15 months. Also, there are some institute also provide some training of some that also I have to do parallelly, one around 15 days training. Then uh, that is the thing of CMA. Then coming to CA or chartered accountancy. Now chartered accountancy deals with 3 things. First is accounts and bookkeeping. So accounts and bookkeeping means that whatever financial transaction take place in a business, purchase of goods, sale of goods, payment of salary, receipt of some interest, then whatever transaction take place, payment of rent, all the transactions they have to systematically record. After the transactions are recorded, they prepare a trial balance, and then they have to prepare financial statements. And the financial statements are presented before the stakeholders, means the persons who are interested in the business, like the investors, the government, the banks who are given loan to the company. So this work is done for CA. CAs do the work not only for companies but also for individuals, also for some partnership firms, like even ordinary individuals also, because they incur a lot of transactions. Like we also make a lot of transactions, so we also require CA to enter all these things. CA does this one is this accounting, second also audit. So as I mentioned, like CMA, CA also did audit. Audit means any person who has turnover of earning beyond 1 crore, they have to go for audit. And also all the companies which are limited companies, they are mandatory required to go for something called statutory audit. So in that, the CA will verify everything. Like if the company says, I have purchased goods worth 1 crore rupees, so they will ask, where are the bills? Where are the goods? Or if they say that we have sold goods worth 10 crores, so they will ask for the vouchers, the bills, invoices, and they have to verify everything, whether it is correct, and they have to prepare a report. If there's anything wrong, they will mention in the report that company has, according to us, it has done this wrongly. Now this audit, there is also a system audit. System audit means the banks, as you are aware, banks have this softwares. Nowadays, all the banks are working online. So there is something called system audit. So there is something called DISA, Diploma in System Audit. So after the CAs have completed the CA course, they can do this diploma, and then they can conduct the audit of the banks and all. And what I heard from my senior ones, he's a CA. He told me that sometimes some of the banks even offer 50 lakhs package, 50 lakhs for one assignment, because it is very difficult and it is very challenging to do. So it is very financial rewarding also. The CA also perform a third function of taxation, that is income tax, to file the income tax returns, to advise the persons regarding the tax planning, how to reduce the tax liability. Also, they work in GST, also international tax. The CAs also work in a fourth field like financial management, like the share market, which you are aware of. They also work in that portfolio management. And the CA course, it is governed by ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. It has also 3 levels: foundation, intermediate, and final. Foundation has 4 subjects of 100 marks each. That also has 2 yearly, like twice a year, May and November exams. Once you clear foundation, you have to give intermediate and then final. It also has some training of 4 weeks of computer training of the institute, which one person has to do after clearing intermediate. And then he has to do articleship in a CA, under a CA, practicing CA, or in a company. So in the CA, in the internal audit or some audit department of a company. And that training is of 3 years. Now CA can either work as an independent chartered accountant, having his own firm. He can do his own work, or he can work in a company like internal audit department or finance department, or maybe he can also work in government organizations in the finance department and all. So that is about CA. And next is of company secretary course. Company secretary, which I have also pursued, it is governed by the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. It also has, earlier it had 3 levels. Now it has, first level is CS executive entrance test. The entrance test has to be given. It is like an online exam, like it is multiple choice exam. It happens 4 times a year. Now the first attempt happened recently. It happens in May, July, November, and January. After we clear that, within 6 months you can give executive. Executive also has 2 groups of 4 subjects each. And then we have professional. After we clear both the groups, next year we can give professional. That has 3 subjects in 3 groups. So total 9 subjects. In CS also, there is 24 months training. First is 3 months training by the institute itself. It is called executive development training, where all the soft skills like public speaking, writing, presentation, all those things are taught in detail. Then we have to work for 18 months under a practicing company secretary, or in a CS, in a company in a CS department. And then after that 3 months, institute provides another residential training where they do finishing touch. They provide some other knowledge, some practical insights, and then they prepare the professionals for their career. And in CS, what is the scope? So CS performs 3 main functions. One is advisor. So he will advise the companies relating to what are all the laws applicable to company and how to comply with them. how to perform various transactions complying with the law. Then they will also then the second function is compliance. That is the CS. Under the Companies Act, various returns and forms have to be filed. The CS will monitor all those filings. And the third is the CS is the guardian of the stakeholders. Like he will protect the interest of the owners, that is the shareholders, also the government, and also other persons like creditors and etc. So he will look after all the interests and ensure that the company is working as for the benefit. It is the directors are not misusing the funds of the company. Now in CS, there are some other activities also, like he can also work in the share market, as I mentioned about CA, but CA is mostly concerned with the finance angle, that is the relating to the the financial angle like merchant banking and all. In CS, they are more concerned with the legal aspect, how to raise the money from the market, what are the compliances required, and all those things. CS also can appear before the like a lawyer. There is now, instead of high court, now all the company law matters, whatever disputes happen related to companies, they are going to a new tribunal called National Company Law Tribunal. So before that, the CS can appear on behalf of the company. So he can also appear like a lawyer and plead the cases on behalf of the company. So there is a lot of scope for CS also now. And again, CS can also work in independently in his own office. He can practice or he can work in a CS department of company. So these are the three courses: CS, CMA, and CA. If you have any questions, I will entertain them later. Now coming to networking, which Venkatesh stressed would be very important for all of you. So when I talk of networking, what do you mean by networking? Networking is we connecting with various people, either known or unknown, and it is building relationship with people for mutual benefit. So first is that why networking is important, because nowadays, like recently I was checking on social LinkedIn. So many senior professionals are saying that particularly in this competitive world, in Corona, many of the job losses are happening. So it is very difficult now to apply for jobs to the normal route. Like you submit your resume, then there will be interview, then they will place you. All that will not happen. Mostly it will happen to networking. Means if I know some person in the company, if some person in the company knows me and he knows that I have the relevant skills, he will directly have a brief interview with me and he will hire me. That normal job application process is not will become redundant now. Also for visually impaired persons, as you are aware that many people have a negative perception about us. They think that blind people or visually challenged people are not, they cannot work or they are not capable. So if we go to the normal route like through the HR, it is 100% chance that we may be rejected. So it is better that we have some connections or contacts, and then basis which we can go ahead. So in networking, there are two things which are important. The first is that there is a principle called dig the well before you are thirsty. Means in Hindi they say अगर आपको पहले प्यास लगने के पहले आप कुआं खोद लो. Means before you need the person. Like now today, if I don't need a job, it is better for me to connect with some senior person professional now, because if I need the job, then I will be desperate. So it is better to have build the contacts in advance. And second is in networking that we have to focus on building relations and not on satisfying our needs. Like we should focus on building connections, like whether we can help that person or contact with that person. We should not be selfish that whether this person, how much benefit will that person give us. If we judge people like that, it is very difficult to have proper networking. So in networking, I did one course by Jordan Harbinger, JordanHarbinger. So you can also do that brief course. It's a free course and it has some separate exercises, small 6-7 exercises which you can do. So jordanharbinger.com/course. In that, there is a course of 6-minute networking. So you can do that course. So and basis that that course and some of my practical experiences I will share with you related to networking. So first is that what Jordan had said in that course, and when I heard his speeches otherwise, he says that many times what networking or making contacts, what we think is that we have to connect with the big people. Like if I have to become a cricketer, I need to know Sachin Tendulkar or some very big person in BCCI. If I want to become some lawyer, I should know very topmost Supreme Court lawyer. Only then I can say that I have contacts. He says that that is not true. He says main aim of networking is that your existing crowd, like the existing persons you already know, you should have good contact with them first, because they are more valuable to you. So I will give an example. In school, okay, all of you all have gone to school. In school, in our batch, we around have 100 students in most schools. So say around 50, 60, so you will know out of them. Means you will have some contact with them. Then in college, when you go in graduation or in your professional course or something, again, you will have some contact with 50, 60 people you will meet. Even you do other things like now some the Venkatesh and all are working in DPWD, or if you work in some other organization or in your job, you will know some 10, 20 people. So already in your life, you are meeting around 100 to 150 people, out of which one person so will become big. Like there will be some person who will be worth contacting. So it is better to first connect with these people. So rather than going for the big contacts. The second advantage of connecting with these people is that it is easier to maintain connections with these people. Like they are your school friends, they are your college friends. You can call them 10 times. You can, even if you get angry with them, you don't have to worry. You can say sorry. But if you always only have contact with big people, you have a lot of pressure. Like you have to always be on alert with them. You have to talk very properly with them. You have to always be respectful. You cannot disturb them again and again. That's why it is valuable to have a good contact. Like our own first network should be very active. And third, what I have seen in my life is that the more chances come from our own personal network, our friends, our well-wishers, they will give us more opportunities rather than those big people who we know. They are very beneficial, but that is the second step. So now the question is how to activate our network. Like, okay, you said you will say that you said that 50, 60 people we meet in school, but after school we will lose contact with them, or how to update it with them. So there are few techniques which I have followed and learned from Jordan. So first with Jordan says that there is something called Connect 4, which I also have followed. He says Connect 4 means every morning he says that what you do, you open your messenger application. Like in our case it is WhatsApp. Okay, in WhatsApp you go at the bottom. So in WhatsApp what happens is whatever messages come, the last message is shown above. Like now in my WhatsApp, the message which I received at 3 o'clock or 2:55, it will be on top. So at the bottom, whichever messages are there means you have contacted those persons long back. So you send a message to them. Like every morning, just send a normal message to any four people, just saying that like, good morning, my name is Turab. We have met here. Like I know you basis that, and what is up with you? And I would like to just have a contact with you. Just a basic message. Like you can draft your own message, but without any need or without any selfish motive, just hi, hello, you can just send a message to them. So that way it helps in recharging our contacts. Like if there are some people we are not contacted long back, so this helps in reconnecting with them. So one technique he says is Connect 4. He says that you choose four people and send them messages or good morning or whatever every day, every morning. Second, which he says is ABG, which means always be giving. So always be giving doesn't mean that we have to help everyone directly, but we have to connect people. So what does he mean by that? So recently, I will just share one example with you of ABG. What I did. So there was one friend in my of my one of my college friends. He is running a coaching institute. So he needed a teacher. Okay, and then I have one teacher in my contact list. She also wants to connect with a coaching class because her current students, because of Corona, she is not able to take classes. So I connected both of them. I exchanged their numbers and I connected them. So he says that this is also a very powerful technique that you should, if two people are there in your network, both have similar needs, complementary needs, you should connect them. Now for this, he says that it is very important to have what he calls the double octane introduction. Like he says that now in my case, I have to connect my friend who's running a coaching institute with a teacher. So first I have to talk to them individually. Like although my friend, I know he has a coaching institute, but whether he needs a teacher, what kind of teacher he needs, and whether the teacher I know would be satisfying his needs. So I have to first contact him and tell him that I have this teacher and would she be beneficial to you? If he says yes, then I have to contact her with him. Similarly, with the teacher also, I have to first ask her, ma'am, this is coaching institute is there. Are you interested in teaching here? If she says yes, I should then connect them. I should not directly share the numbers, otherwise it will be an awkward situation. Apart from these two tips, there are two more things which I have followed. One is that I try to wish people on their birthdays. You all know that all our birthdays are very special to us. So on anyone's birthday, I try to wish them. Like on Facebook, we know whose birthday is there, or remember some people's birthdays. So I try to personally contact them. Nowadays, what people do is they wish on the timeline on Facebook or in the group WhatsApp. So that is difficult for that person to see also, and that is, then it does not lead to personal contact. So I personally try to wish people on their birthdays. So that has helped me a lot. And also another thing which I do is that I am fortunate to have a good memory. So I try to remember some details about people. Like suppose today I'm talking to Venkatesh, he tells me that, Turab, after 10 days I have an interview. Like he just says normally, I'm preparing for interview and all that, so I cannot talk to you today. So now I'll remember, okay, Venkatesh has interview in 10 days. So 14th October, I will probably wish him on his interview. So that way people appreciate a lot that if some personal details I remember about people, what is their favorite movie, or so that helps to connect with them. So these four techniques are very good in activating your personal existing connections. Connect for ABG, wishing people on birthdays, and also remembering personal details. So these have benefited me in activating my personal contact. But now, how to expand our connections? Like we cannot limit ourselves to these 100 people, because out of them, 10, 20 would be really good. The others we may not learn much from, or it may not be much beneficial for us to connect with them, possibly. So now in that, there are 2, 3 things which I have done. The first, as Venkatesh mentioned, that I am part of various groups. So like I am part of Blind Graduates Forum of India, BGFI. Then also I was part of Rotaract Club of Bombay West, that is a Rotaract Club in Mumbai, and also Rotary. So you should join various social groups or these kind of organizations. So there it is very good for us to connect. There you meet new people and learn from them. So you can connect with them. The second is in the professional institute. So what in my case, how I built connection in the CS fraternity is that I was very active in CS Institute from my student days. So the institute conducts various conferences, seminars. So I would always participate in those seminars and all. I would try to ask some questions. If there are some senior people involved, I would just ask some questions so that they know that we exist. Also, like the advantage with visual impairment is that we appear different. Like we have a stick sometimes, or people can know that we are different, so we are easily identifiable. So generally people come and interact with us, that do you have a problem, how are you managing, and that way we can also discuss other things with them. So I would always be involved in those seminars and all. Also, what I would do is I would sit in the first row, because in the first row what happens, all the big people sit. No faltu people or no persons who do mischief, they sit in the front row. All the serious big people sit. So I would always sit in the front row so I can interact with all the senior people. And when it comes to, then there are some student trainings also. Like this is the professional seminars, conferences. And the student trainings also, I would be very active. I would volunteer. I would do some different things. Like in my Nagpur chapter, I am from a city called Nagpur, which is 1,000 kilometers from Mumbai. So here I was involved in launching its bulletin. We launched a student bulletin with my friend. We founded the bulletin Nagpur chapter. Then in regional level also, they launched a bulletin last year. I was part of that also. Also in my trainings also, I was very active. So that way people come to know about us and they notice us. So we have to be, I was very involved in those kind of activities. And the third thing by which we can be very active and build connections is on social media, like on LinkedIn, Facebook. Instagram, I understand, is image based, so difficult for us, but Facebook, LinkedIn, and even Twitter are accessible for us. So we can post something, build a profile there, and be active on those platforms. So that would benefit us. So being active on social media, being part of different groups, and also being active in our professional circles, it will benefit us a lot. So this is what I had to share with you all about networking and of the professional courses. If you have any questions or anything, you can ask me.
Yeah, thank you, Tarab. So we'll open floor for the question and answers. So guys, raise your hands if you have any questions and interact with the speaker. Yeah, we have Shiva Hanumu. We have Shiva. Unmute yourself and interact with the speaker.
Very good afternoon to everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, Shiva.
Yeah, Shiva, please.
Hello, Shiva.
Yeah. First and all, thank you for the speaker for giving such a insightful. Basically a lot of information in a very short while and very comprehensive as well. Though it's also in a short while he has given, and it's very insightful. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot, and as well as to PWD for giving us this opportunity. So I'm really thankful for everybody here. Thanks a lot. So I'll come directly to my question. Though I have half a dozen questions in my mind, keeping that everybody else should get a chance, I'll quickly ask two of my questions. Sir, first and foremost is, regarding point where you made CS or CMA or CA, and it's particularly to visually impaired. So I have always had a query that whether you do CA, CS, or either CMA, since this is my perception, I don't have any, first-hand experience with any of these. So these would involve a lot of paperwork, I'm assuming. So for a visually impaired, is it reached a stage where probably more of soft materials, or is it hard copies? If hard copy is used, or are there any other things, and where visually impaired may find it difficult to access that hard copies? So is there now, it's now less of that and more of soft copies are more used, or how does it accessibility work for visually impaired in any of these three streams? In professional courses, any of these three professional courses. Second doubt I had was, sir, if obviously if anybody has done CA and goes to bank, he directly gets promoted to scale. He gets a scale to, as far as I understand, he directly joins as a manager, not as a assistant manager, which is generally done. And other thing is, since you mentioned about DISA, which is your related to your IS audit, which is your information audit. So, sir, IT audit rather. So, sir, what I wanted to understand in that is there is one organization called IIBF, Indian Institute of Banking and Finance, in which you have 3 papers, certification papers, which says after you finish those 3 papers, you can become a DISA certified person. You can get a certification, and then later you can do CISA also. So, can you shed a light on that also, if at all, if you can shed a light on this? Thank you, and all the best, Mr. Venkatesh, for his interview. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Shiva. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Hello, Shiva. So first of all, the Venkatesh interview, I don't know whether he has, but it was just an example. So thank you for your kind words. As regards to second question, honestly, I'm not a CA, so I don't have much idea of that. If we can revert to you if you want regarding that, I can check and revert to you.
Sir. Not a concern.
The first one, yeah, Venkat, yeah, Shiva. So the thing is that it involves paperwork. But then the thing is that majority of things have happened on computers. So if I talk of CS, initially when we do trading and all, so we receive a lot of backup documents from clients. So earlier they used to be in hard copy, but nowadays they do give in soft copy. And even if they do give in soft copy, it is mainly scanned. So we have to convert it and read it. So it is not that easy. But then at least the creation work, what we do, we draft, this is that is in soft copy, that is in our computers only. So that is manageable. Paperwork is there, but it is reducing, and it is reduced a lot, but that is a challenge. So that we have to manage. We have to find out various ways, and we have to go about it. So.
Sir, thanks a lot. Just one more small thing. Can I ask one more question, or shall I wait for my chance again? It depends upon the organization. I can ask.
Please, please, Shiva, you go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, you can ask.
See, sir, I also one more thing, which is, since you have covered CSS, CA and everything in CS and all in detail, I'll not go. I have some other questions which are tangent to this. Sir, how far do you think automation would affect? Because people who want to take it in the future, I'm very honestly asking this. Yeah. How far would an automation impact these kind of, CA and CS? Because I'll give you an example. For example, Clear Tax is there. Clear Tax is a website where you can upload your Form 16, and there are other websites where you have to only upload your Form 16 and your e-filing is done. It's basically finished. Earlier, I'm not saying CA only do that. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm just giving one example. So how far automation, this is just I know it's a little out of this thing.
So I got your question, Shiva. Yeah. So it's a very good question, actually. So now the thing is that, Shiva, it is on what you do with your degree. So now, as if you are engaged in only routine work, like as you mentioned that only tax filing, or in CS, you only engage in, filing the various returns for the companies and all. So obviously, then the scope is going to really reduce, because in CS, if I may talk of CS, because I have done CS. So when you incorporate a company, okay, there were around 4 forms which were required. Now it was reduced to only 1 form, and now that form also they have made it online, like you can log in and do it. So obviously, if you are engaged in those kind of activities and volume work, then the scope is going to totally fizzle out. But then there are many other cream areas. Like in CA, maybe you can do for advisory functions, or you can do audit, or you can work in the portfolio manager, or those kind of things. In CS, you can appear in National Company Law Tribunal, or you can also work in insolvency and bankruptcy. So there are many other cream areas. So if you are engaged in routine work, then obviously you may, you may lose the plot soon.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot. Thank you, sir. If time permits, afterwards, I had one more question, but I'll ask it later. A few
Yeah,
more, I'll ask later.
I
Yeah,
will
we'll
pause.
give you time last, Siva. Thank you.
Let others finish. Then the next round, I'll ask because they are not
Yeah.
directly this thing. Just a little few minor questions I
Yeah,
had. Not.
we'll have a casual conversation if you want at the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
No, that's
Murali
fine,
sir.
sir.
Murali sir, unmute yourself and interact with speaker.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah, hello,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Murli. Hello.
Hi, thank you very much. And hats off to you. In fact, 30 years back, this was one of my aspirations. Yeah, so thank you so much for picking up this topic, and congratulations for encouraging people to take up these kind of professions. I just want to know how prepared are the institutes in accommodating people with the different disabilities, because you are talking about different groups. Then you need the reading material, course material, then you say talk about horticulture, either by institute or by private firms. And when it comes to examinations, so how much of reasonable accommodation is available within the institute, how much they have seen, how much preparation they have done, how much policy accommodation they have made within the institute. Because one or two people will be sensitive enough, they will accommodate, but it cannot be temporary. So how far the institute come forward to ensure people with visual impairment in particular to take on these kind of professional courses without any hazard? Because we can do anything at the in this time of technology and information revolution. But the thing is that how much system is ready for accommodating and providing, ensuring equal opportunity for us. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Murli, nice question. So, yeah, the thing is that there is challenge because these institutes are not that streamlined when it comes to visual disability per se. Now, in CA, there are many, but in CS, like there are very few of us that I know, like around only handful of us who are there. So individually, the people are helpful and they push us, but then still, as far as the policy level, there are things to be done, like related to scribes, and also there are challenges which I may admit, frankly, they are not that ironed out, but they will be improved. And because probably possibly the another on their side also, they don't have much exposure to people with disability. Like at least in CS, they hardly have exposure. So now they are also learning and they are trying to change things as per our needs. So it's still
Yeah,
in process, I would say.
yeah. I think
Yeah,
I think we
I
can
would
do a
like
bit on
to say, I would like to
sensitizing them,
share
right?
one
People.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So actually, I being a company secretary student, I can say that the institute had done maximum, because their materials, study materials, and academic materials are very much accessible. They are providing audio, video, and even text materials in accessible format as a part of e-learning portal. So in a CS institute, materials and everything are very much accessible. There are really few concerns relating to scribe and all, but apart from that, that everything is good. I feel I am happy with the institutes.
Yeah. Yeah, and Mr. Murli,
Yeah.
like individually with me, they have been really nice. Like I have known
Mm,
many of these guys, so they have really encouraged me and pushed me
mm,
forward. So
yeah,
individual level, there are many things which they're doing right, but maybe
yeah,
because there are very few of us, so policy level probably some of the things have to still be
yeah,
incorporated. Otherwise, there's no
yeah.
point.
Yeah, because tomorrow, if it can be there, we don't need to every time go and talk to them, sensitize them. If there
No,
is
no,
a
no.
law,
Generally they are
yeah,
quite good actually. They encourage
yeah,
us, and
yeah,
generally there's no
yeah,
problem.
yeah. Because I'm just imagining 30 years back, nothing was there. Things
Yeah,
have improved a lot. See, otherwise, of course, it's all blessing in disguise in my case, because I still remember I was getting I in fact applied and got a perspective, the CS prospective. I still have, I think I should be having it in my home. when I wanted to look at the prospects and what are the things, as you rightly said, the different groups. And those times, it was not foundation course. I think we have to do the sort of BCom the graduation, then we have to move on to this. So I still remember those days. It was very difficult to imagine. And of course, there were one or two in my age that time. I think there were one or two first time CAs from Mumbai again. Yeah. Now things have changed, and you guys have done a lot, and you are setting examples and creating role models. That is important, because I'm surrounded by friends who are auditors. Even today, I had a friend visiting me who is a leading auditor in Chennai. So they actually they are sensitive, because they watch us, they look at us. Then so this kind of attitudinal things will help us to really break through in this profession as well. Yeah, thank you. And we should be also in a position to sensitize the institutes to make policy changes. That is definite. Like accessibility, as we were talking about the material. People when they bring the files or hard copies, how they can be made digitally accessible.
So actually they have everything in soft copy, but maybe just the soft copy, the formatting and all can be improved. Otherwise, things are there in soft copy.
Yeah, because institute can come out with that guideline, because you have the website guideline, all these content guidelines. So these can be sensitized to them. Even some of the topics you can when you have this CR, I think you have the CPE, right? One of the topics could be because professionals have to undergo the certain number of years of hours of trainings in a year to retain their certificate. So these could be some of the topics, how to make it
this
accessible.
Is a good idea, actually. This we could suggest.
Yeah. Thank you. Good luck. I'm really proud of you. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Moody. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
If anyone has a question, just raise your hand. Pooja, I'm allowing you to unmute yourself and interact with the sir. Yeah,
Good evening.
Pooja. Yeah, please.
Sir, I have 3 questions. First is, how we can connect with social groups?
Okay. So can you ask all of them? I'll answer them one by one. Pooja, if you can ask all of them together.
Okay. My second question is, some websites are not accessible, as I have seen. So how we can make accessible to visually challenged like me? Then third question is, as Venkatesh told, CS Institute is providing videos and audio material. How we can access them?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So first is that how to engage on social media, right? So engaging on social media is obviously you make your account on LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, and then interact with people there. Like you can, if you want, you can attend various master classes. So I attend one by Carly Lyon, who's an Australian PR consultant. But basically they're accessible. So like normal, like sighted people, you just make your account, you follow people, you write content. So on LinkedIn, it's important because you have to make your profile properly. So you can look at people's profiles and make your own story and go about it. So it's just like other sighted people. There's nothing specific about how we can do it. Normally, as any of the other people do, because nowadays in Facebook, at least the image description also is there. So if someone posts a photo, our voiceover would describe it also. So that is not a problem for us. And as regards the audio websites which are not accessible, so I mean, then we have to use cited assistance, because then we can't, unless we make a representation to the web developer and say that you comply with the web content accessibility guidelines, then that is the only way. And regarding the study material and all, actually, honestly, when I cleared, this thing was not there. Now these guys are benefiting with a lot of material put up by the institute, but that is generally on the website. So you can have the student academic corner, and you can go there and access the material. You can log in.
Can I take this part?
Yeah, sure.
So, Pooja, see, when it comes to the study material and all, in academic corner, you can get like free materials in a PDF form. There you no need to register for an institute. You can access them in a icsi.edu website. But if you want to get this study material in audio and video platform, where you have to subscribe to e-learning platform, which you get access from registering yourself for an institute. Once you pay for your registration fee, and you will get access to a e-learning portal in a week or so. From there, you can access all the text and audio and video materials. Their materials are hyperlinked. There are, some sections are hyperlinked where you can refer them, and even you can check their background, and you can go through many case studies in that e-learning portal. So I found it's very beneficial for us. But if you're really looking for only soft copy, then you can access this open source material in Academic Corner, which is available in PDF.
Even actually, as regards the open source material, you can even do a Google search. Like that's what I used to do. Just type CS, whatever level is that, and the subject name. In Google only, you get the link to download it directly. You
Yeah,
can.
there you also get these days now. You'll get all the notes and study materials, notes prepared by different faculties. All you'll get on a free.
No,
You don't need
institute
to.
material also you can get directly from Google. If you type
Yeah.
ICSI study material, it's open source, so you can download it from there only. It's not very difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So actually, Siva raised hand, but before giving a choice to Siva, let me check anyone or raising hand. So if you have questions, just raise your hand so that you can interact with a speaker. Yeah, we have a Naresh. Naresh, unmute yourself and interact with the speaker.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir. My name is Naresh.
Good evening.
Sir, actually, I completed BTech before 6 years back. Now, I don't know about these courses and what should I take now? What should I do?
Okay. Yeah, so you have done BTech, right?
Yes, sir.
So actually, these are commerce courses, so you can go for these courses like in CA and CMA. So your foundation will also not like in CMA your foundation you don't have to give. You can directly go to the intermediate level. In CA you have to give the foundation, and CS also the entrance test is there. It is not very difficult. So if you are interested in these courses like accounts or law or cost management or something, you can go for these courses. It's not challenging, but only that they are very different from your stream. So like engineering is very different from this. So if you're really serious about it, you can go for it because they are not so easy. So I'm not discussing you, but if you're really serious about these fields, if you're interested in these fields, you can go for it. But just don't try for it, like like I will try and do if because they are like difficult, so it will take a lot of time for you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Naresh. Yeah, we'll take Shiva because no one are raising hands. Shiva, unmute yourself.
Hello, good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, please, Shiva.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead with the question very quickly. Yeah, couple of very nice questions. Thanks to all the participants as well. Now, so the real thing is actually, as someone has said, they have done BTech, Mr. Naresh, I suppose, and I also have done BTech in computer science actually. So obviously, foundation courses would help if you're actually to fill that gap of, I think so, may help ideally. So anyway, so the question here is basically CA or any of the professional courses like doctors and lawyers probably do attract. I mean, not for everybody, may do attract that thing because do attract a lot of this thing is because it gives you an autonomy or kind of freelancing kind of a thing where after your work couple of years, maybe couple of not years itself for 6-7 years, you can open your own consultancy and you can work independently. In CA, at least I am aware of this. Probably you don't have to be dependent on any job or as such. You can have your own, you can run your own business, but in per se of running a consultancy. So how does it work for CS and CMA? I mean, you can do CMA and CS, and can you independently also, probably use a job on it? I mean, continue doing a job on continuing doing a job along with these courses, or would you like to drop everything, I mean, whatever you're currently doing, and completely give your attention to these courses? I'm talking about all three separately: CMA, CS, and CA. Obviously CA must be the harder one in terms of that you have to give your complete attention to it. I'm not saying CS or CMA is any less tough, but all I'm saying is that what would you advise that the person should, if he is interested, can he do a job as well as can clear this certification, professional courses, I'm sorry. And the next thing is, what would you ideally be characteristics, because you're a CS yourself, what would you ideally be a trait of a CS, a person who should pursue CS? I mean, what are the personality traits that you would like in one? That's all I had, questions I had. Thank you.
Yeah, so as regards your first question, so yeah, that's why I told Naresh that you should seriously think about, because it's difficult to do with a job actually. You can, but then unless your job is of very fixed timing, or like 9 to 5 and weekends off and all, then maybe you can manage. Otherwise, at least after the second level, it's difficult. But it also depends on what you have pursued. Like if someone has done law, so in CS there is a lot of law involved, so maybe you would clear very easily. Or if someone has done some BCom honors or something in some good place, so probably accounts and all you may manage in CA. It depends on a background. But if someone in engineering has done engineering, then it's quite different. So then such a course would require dedicated study. And for us, because of accessibility issues and all, we have to study a little more. So at least for the second and third levels, you would require to focus all your attention on the course. Or at least then you should have a job where you get like 1 month or 2 months off, in a year before that particular attempt, so you can study for it. And all three are tough. Actually, there's no one which is tougher than the other. So it all depends. And now characteristics, I don't really know. I mean, what characteristics? Because generally all the professional things like are there, like interpretation or analysis, or basic good communication skills, good drafting skills. Generally, which are there in a good professional, they would be there. Nothing specific that like, because it's not some like personal skill, no, like it's not an actor or it's not a cricketer or something. So they all can be developed. Like.
Ruba, I can't hear you. Could you check your network? Microphone.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, now you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
So what I was saying, Shiva, do you have to answer both the questions again? Like, did you not hear both, or?
No, go ahead. Continue from where you left.
No, I was done. So what I was just saying was that yeah, so means there is no particular characteristic, like like generally all the basic characteristic, like good drafting skills, good communication skills, then good interpretation, good analysis, all those things which are required in a normal good professional, they are required. There's no particular trait which I can say. Mainly communication and communication analysis are very important. They are the two main things. But there's nothing like particular specific characteristics. Most of the skills you can acquire, like if you practice and all, they can be acquired.
You can't hear you, bro. We are losing you. We lost.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
No, that is what I didn't have anything more to say. That is what I am done with my answer.
Yeah. Shiva, again raise. If anyone has a question, just raise your hands. I'll allow you to interact with the speaker. Yeah, again we have a Shiva only. Let him.
No, hi.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello. Hi. Am I audible?
Yeah, Shiva.
No. It was not most more of a question. I just I wanted to say thanks a lot. My answer question was answered. So he was asking, sir was asking. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely fine. I got the answer. Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Thank you, Shiva. Again, we have Murali sir again raised his hand. Yes, sir. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, hi. Murli again. I just want to know the current status of employment, basically with the public sector companies, because we are talking about the company secretaryship more. And what is the, because people with the disabilities, mostly they look at as the assumption is that government job is the stable one. So how do you see the prospective for people with the disabilities in the public sector when it comes to CMA or CS? Thank you.
Yeah, so in all three of them, first is that in CS, so obviously you can be a part of the CS departments in any of the public sector undertakings, because most of the public sector undertakings are limited companies. So in any company there is a particular particular capital, that is the investment in the company, which is like 10 crores. Beyond that, if there is any company, they are required to have a company secretary. So in those kind of scenarios, obviously there is a job. In in CMA or CA also there are similar jobs in for various departments like audit department or like in costing or something. They have in factories, if they're large factories, so they have jobs for them. And apart from these, the public sector undertakings in many of the government organizations also, like if you see SEBI recently had a job opening for all three of them, or in banks also there are openings. So in CSCMA also there are many, if there are finance related things, then they do have there are opportunities. But only with the thing with all these three is that there's no certainty. Like if this opening comes, you can grab it and apply, give that exam and clear it. But it's not fixed that like an RBI or something that every year this vacancy will come. Or
Yeah,
specifically for
because
CMA there are vacancies, but it depends on when they come and you apply.
and then they also have some reservation policies, right?
Yeah,
Because
they
in the
generally have.
public sector, yeah,
For
okay,
public sector undertakings generally, because that is not exam based, na, that is just because of the recruitment if they have some
direct
vacancy.
recruitment.
So
Yeah.
there they may not have, but then for these exam based things where there is exam, they have reservation.
Okay, good. And how do you educate? See, as a person with a disability yourself, if I'm not mistaken, how do you reach
I'm
out to
eligible.
our yeah, okay. Um, how do you reach out to our guys? This is one platform. I really admire the initiatives of DPWT. And how do you reach out to fellow visually impaired people, encourage them, because sometimes we don't know what to take up after graduation or schooling. So do you have any mechanism to reach out to people, not to force them to take on these courses, but to educate them as to these are the avenues available? It's not just a music teacher or a lecturer in a college. So we have a wide scope. So how do you reach out to people? Of course, Mumbai, we have our own exposure. Delhi people are, it's a different network. But reaching out to other people, because there are people, a lot of people like me. See, 30 years ago, I was living in a small district. Though there were a lot of industries, public sector company. My father was working in a company, public sector company, but the opportunities and the exposures were very limited. And of course, the technology or the sensitivity was also not that bright. But how do you reach out to people who really want to, who are aspiring, but not able to get the right opportunity? So do you have any mechanism as a professional with a disability to reach out to them, or to sensitize them, or to give them some sort of awareness, mentoring sort of thing? Do you do that?
This is a good question, actually, and in fact, all of us, like when we want to do a particular thing and having disability, so often we would count ourselves out because of challenges. So it is imperative, need connect with someone who has done that particular thing. So one mechanism which I can think of is, one is obviously having such seminars like DPWD has done this. Then earlier in July, I had conducted a session with Karna Vidya Foundation. They had invited me. That's based out of Chennai, which is run by a person named Professor Raghu. So he had invited talk to his students about CS and all. And the second is that I work for an association called Blind Graduates Forum of India. So where we have a mentorship, we do different activities, but one of our verticals is mentorship. So wherein we roll out a form frequently, and anyone who wants mentorship can fill up that form, and then we connect them with a mentor. So in various streams, we have person who has an investment banking, we have someone who's done law, we have someone who's done cleared these civils, or I am registered in CS. So then that way we connect them with them. So at least people can fill up that form and at least look at it if there is someone available. Mostly we arrange for some of the other person because there are VI people everywhere. So we try to connect with them and go about that. So that is one powerful mechanism.
Yeah, in fact, nowadays distance is not an issue because you can connect anywhere, everywhere. You can sit in at home and do that too. At this COVID situation, people are working, 10,000 kilometers away from you. Even some countries have converted this into an opportunity to give, create a business. Like Barbados recently, they said, "Come to my country. You can take this as your home and work from here." So like that. So technology has helped us a lot. So distance shouldn't be an issue, right? Yeah. Sure. Great.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So next we have Mahesh. We have Mahesh. Unmute yourself and talk. So we'll take. Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah,
Mahesh.
you are audible.
Yeah. Being a visually challenged, what kind of benefit do we get? Exemption of fee payment and extra time during the examination. What and other benefits what we get in CS and CA and all professionals.
Yeah, so in all the institutes I have checked, they have got fee concession also. Like in CS Institute, I remember when I gave my final exam. So in final level, there is the fees was totally exempt. So fees concession is there, and also extra time also is available. So they give, as per the government guidelines of 2018, they give 1/3 extra time per hour. 1/3 per, yeah. So it is like 1/3 of the total time. So for 3 hours, they give 1 hour extra. That's the thing.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And if I want to start a company, to whom I should approach first?
Oh, sorry, we lost you, but
Yeah,
I
I
think
got
it's
your
good.
question, Mahesh.
Yeah.
So if you want to incorporate a company, generally you can go to a CS because CS is mostly engaged in these kind of activities. So they will be able to guide you and create a company, incorporate a company.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, bro. So let's look at chart questions first. Let's look at chart questions. So Sham.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
So we'll take chart questions now.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Maheshana, you are not audible properly. Once work on your network, okay?
Sham, go through chat messages if you get. Sham, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, go through chat box once.
Yes, in chat box we don't have any messages, and as well as in YouTube also we don't have any comments.
Because sir already has cleared.
Yeah.
Clearly mentioned that's why.
So still people have a time, so they can raise their hand, so and they can interact with the sir. Meanwhile, let's loan Shiva again. Shiva, unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yeah, Shiva.
Yes, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. There was a little bit network disturbance. So yet again, thank you. Thanks to everybody again. Sir, I had just one last question. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, please.
No, because I'm getting that icon of, there is a slow network connectivity. My network is fine. I'm just doubtful. That's why. Fine. So coming quickly to the question. So you talked about mentorship, and it's a very, very critical. Yeah. Am I audible? Shall I continue?
Yeah, but Shiva, better you turn off your video.
Video? My video is on.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just switch it off. I did not turn it on. Probably. Just 1 second. Is it off now?
No. Yeah, carry on. You're audible anyway.
I'm sorry, because that will take some bandwidth. So obviously it will be a little slower. It will disturb. I'm sorry for this. I'll check out why the video.
You're audible. Go ahead with your question.
Right. So as Sir said, mentorship, and Mr. Murli also asked a very, very good question. That's what I want to continue upon. So mentorship is very important because you should know how to apply your knowledge. That's a very common thing, and it's very important as well. So sir, you mentioned something again, a very valuable gem you have given is graduate. I think so. If you could just mention that name again, where we can get mentorship related groups we can form.
Yeah, it's
really
Blind Graduates Forum of India.
Blind graduate for okay, sir. So related to that, I was coming, sir. Thanks a lot. Thank you. I'll just surely work on it. Sir, apart from this, one more thing I wanted to understand was, since you're talking about mentorship, not only in VI spectrum, I'm talking about normal people who are really good in, because you talked about networking. I'm crossover. It's a crossover question of both. What your topics. So people who are absolutely normal and have done quite well, significantly well, or are about to become big. How open are they to take as a mentoring a visually impaired person in that sense? Because suppose if you want to join the company, because knowledge is fine, as you said, articleship is to be also done as far as I could understand, C and all. So how open are people taking visually impaired under their wing and mentoring them? And I mean, that sense I wanted to understand, because that will have a huge impact. Because if you say I got mentored from XYZ, that will really rocket your career to a different level.
Yeah. So generally, it depends on people, Shival, as you also visually challenge, and generally also it all depends on people. But then nowadays the perception has improved a lot, and there are people, like I have had people who are very senior who have guided me and all. So people don't really mind. Like there are people who appreciate that what we go through and how we achieve what we do. So then they are open to helping us, and there's no problem. There are some people, some exceptions who don't understand disability and they are rude to us, but then they are very few.
Okay. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Shiva. Sure. If anyone have questions, just raise your hand or post them on a comment box. So we'll take. Otherwise, we will wind up in a minute or two. So let's wait for 1-2 minutes and let's wind up the session. So from team, anyone has a question, just ask.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are. No,
My question is that which is easy and accessible to visually challenged like CA, CMA, and CS, which is better and which is accessible and easy to do.
So first thing is that it is not like ideally you should not make your choice because of what is easy. Like what you want to do, that you should focus first. So in which field you are interested in. So that should be your main focus. Now, as is when it comes to easy and accessibility with CS, the thing is that it is more theoretical. So mostly you have to read a lot. So that way it becomes more easier because we can scan the material or get soft copy material. In CA and CMA, it's more practical. So that way it can be more challenging. But then it also depends on your interest. Like if you're interested in one, then maybe you can overcome the barriers. But it is not impossible. So it is based on what you are more interested in, that is more important than which is easier or which is more accessible.
So if suppose if I have done CPT in CA and am I eligible to do that CS?
No, CPT will not allow you to do CS. In CS now they have changed the rules, so you have to give that entrance test. There is a CS executive entrance test. You have to give that, then only you can go ahead.
Yeah, my last and final question. If I have done articleship in CA and it will be useful in CS, or I have to do again in
No, you
CS?
have to do separately actually. All three are different. You cannot, only in CMA, they have an exception. They say that if you have done CS articleship in an organization which has some specific parameters, like they should have management, consulting, department, and all, then in CMA, they have some exemption. But in CS, there is no exemption. Like if you have done CA articleship, then you have to again do a CS article.
Yeah, my final question is that so every company must have CA, CMA.
Still, yeah, Mahesh, na, we are losing you. Work on your network.
Am I audible?
Yeah, now you are audible.
Yeah. So in each and every company, there must be CA and CS, or one can manage everything. So
No,
I
so
want to know this.
So one is that as regards employment is concerned in that company. So if a company has a capital, that is investment in the company, is beyond 10 crores, then they are compulsory required to appoint CS. Okay. Now when it comes to consulting the company, so every company has to undergo something called a statutory audit. So for that, CA is compulsory. And in as regards the other corporate compliances, in that it is not mandatory that whether they have CA or CS, that anyone can manage. But because CS has more knowledge, it is better that CS advises them. And there is one certification of a particular form called annual return that only CS has to certify. So basic compliance, CS can manage, but specified things both are required. Different
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So I think we don't have any questions. So let's wind up the session. Before winding up, I'll invite Ganesh Reddy to give both of thanks.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Venkatesh, and very good evening to one and all. Hi, sir. First, I am very happy that today we have done this session as part of our webinar series, professional courses. So, actually, usually people feels that professional courses some are not accessible, and some feels that jobs we can get on this very late, and there are so many doubts up to till now, but most of the doubts you cleared, and now people are very happy into maybe busy from the tomorrow into their professional courses to continue. And also I thank to each and everyone for spending your time to participate in this webinar. And also I'm very happy and thankful to each and everyone who helped and to reach this information to everyone, and bringing awareness on the professional courses. Thank you and each and everyone, and we will meet you in the next Sunday with another topic. Have a great day. Now you can give your feedback, post your feedback from YouTube. You can post in the comment box. And now the discussion is going to open up.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ganesh. Yeah, Tarun bhai, here our session.
Just a minute, Sham, Venkatesh.
Yeah.
Let Sham stops.
Ask Shyam to stop now.
Sham, just confirm us.
There are no questions, it seems.
No, yeah, just
But Sham is stopped the live.
stop the line.